Jamie, you have to let me leave. This is crazy. I will never say anything again, I promise. I am sorry. I can't do this anymore. Please let me go.
Brittany, it sounds as if you may have learned your lesson. Next time you won't be guilty by association if you don't hang around those two idiots. But it is almost the holiday season, so I'm in the giving mood. Since you've been so kind and pretty, you are free to go.
Thank you. I could not take another second of this. Thank you, Jamie.
Well, just remember who let you leave and who has to stay and watch the hideous program.
Thanks, Jamie. I am out of here.
Hey, look at all the neat stuff we found. Yes. Look at all the technology.
To make you a hat.
No.
Yeah, a hat. Look at his hat. It's cool. Look at this volume. I'm gonna get louder and louder.
See,
I want to be on TV.
Yeah.
this is why I get to leave and you guys have to stay.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that because she's nice looking that she gets to leave, but we have to say because we're not nice looking? And what's Patrick doing back there?
What? Patrick, what are you doing?
I'm making art!
Let's not get distracted here. Basically what you're saying is you're allowing her to leave because she has lady bits, but not us because we don't have lady bits?
Exactly. Nah, you know what? I changed my mind. All three of you, back to the studio. Jerry, give me a hand with this, please. Oh, knock off the tomfoolery, please.
Just saying, Brittany, if you play along, it's more enjoyable for everybody.
Yeah, cynical worldview is better than no view at all.
I'm not even going to comment on that.
The whole commercial break, he's asking every single one of the members of our crew.
I don't think he did.
There's only two people, so.
Yeah. Well, I guess he could have then, if there's only two people.
Weird and strange and frightening.
Let's move on because that's the only place we can go. Might as well move up, right?
Or you could stay striving for mediocrity. That sounds safe.
Yay! Playing along.
Please welcome Collis P. Huntington.
All right. You better be handsome. It's Pimp Kenny Rogers.
It's Sean Connery Santa Claus!
It's my pleasure, my pleasure. Perhaps you could keep a close eye on those. There are thieves and scallywags everywhere.
And pedophiles to my left.
Hello, Mr. Huntington. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
You are what's called a sidekick, right?
Yes, sir. That's my official.
But one day he'll run a whole organization.
Not that many people have, so you
Not really a pleasure at all.
Well, you know, he hasn't really seen the show because neither the show nor television existed in his time.
So this is your city behind us here. What do you think?
I think it's a great place.
You have to say that it's named after you.
The name?
I think it's wonderful. Isn't Huntington a wonderful name for a town?
Barboursville could have been better, but Huntington is good.
We're like amazing land.
Barboursville is...
It's all right, Zippy. The obvious laugh track thinks you're funny.
Stop when you see enough.
So how did Huntington become what it is today?
Drugs!
That you can
Poor education system.
Obesity!
How long do you have here? It wouldn't...
Oh, God.
So bright, man.
Make it go away.
Really pleased to be in a position of following such a stellar act.
Wow, 90-year-old Zach Galifianakis who chain smoked. You're in it. But
Seriously, let me share a little history with you. I was in my office.
No, you weren't.
This would have been about...
they have offices back then?
I think they did, but they called them, I don't know, I guess offices.
From the Chesapeake and Ohio Railway. They wanted me to buy a controlling interest in their railway.
You see, I had so much money and I was so cool. They was like, please buy this thing for us.
James River with the Ohio River. At first, the thought had been to do it with a series of canals. When that didn't prove feasible, they
Why is that shot so bright?
You didn't put your sunglasses on?
I forgot to put my shades on.
With the coming of railroads, it was an obvious place to build, and a start was made.
Yeah, they had a railroad and everything there.
The best war in the nation's history.
Because it only involves God's greatest creatures, Americans. USA! 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 USA!
Tore up the track.
USA! USA!
The result was that the railroad, the CNO, was to all intents and purposes bankrupt. And this was the railroad that these individuals wanted me to buy. told him no thank you. That it had always been my rule to only invest in something where I saw a pretty good chance of making a profit.
Like a McDonald's.
See
Yeah.
such a chance in this regard.
We're in this show.
Oh, sure, Jamie, make it all about you.
Yeah, but by the way, what am I being paid for this appearance? Am I getting union scale?
Union scale, 1900 union scale.
Which was one whole straw penny per day.
It's better than what I make now.
These were extraordinarily persistent gentlemen. They kept after me and they kept after me. And eventually...
But I just didn't feel a connection.
A great deal of money. And so I knew that if the CNO was to survive, if the CNO was to ever make a profit, that the tracks had to be laid as quickly as possible.
Wait a minute, what is this story actually about here?
I think it's about how Guido Zeus got his groove back.
I think it's about how love conquers all.
I thought it was about how he had to shoot his lover's evil twin on the rooftop, but he made the wrong choice.
We did get all the way across the state, and we came to the Ohio River in a little village called Guyana. You familiar with Guyana?
I'm very familiar with Gondon, right next to Barbersville.
Not exactly, but close.
Collis P. Huntington showed him. Wait, I meant Collis P. Huntington. I'm sorry.
Epidemic up and down this stretch of the Ohio Valley of what might be called railroad fever.
Walking chicken, walking chicken, walking chicken, walking chicken, railroad fever, yeah.
It was the anticipation that people felt when they thought the railroad was coming.
Is the railroad coming today, Dad?
Sure is, son.
Railroad would bring jobs and prosperity.
And a railroad.
So the people there in Guyana had a particularly virulent dose of railroad fever.
Walking chicken, walking chicken, walking chicken, walking chicken, railroad fever.
Western terminus of the CNO Railway. Well, a strange thing happened there, and I've often studied about it. Not sure I can explain it, but as I indicated, we were traveling by horseback, and I'm sure you travel by horseback a lot, and you know it's mighty thirsty work.
Horseback every night.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, there, now he gets it. Good job, Zippy.
Village, and we had quite a thirst that we worked up. We decided that we'd like a bit of liquid refreshment, perhaps a glass of sarsaparilla.
Sarsaparilla.
A little stronger if we could find it. We spied a likely boarding house where we could get a drink, and we tied our horses up at the hitching rack outside, adjourned inside.
Is he having a stroke?
No, I think he's okay now.
I was really worried about Santa.
I do doze off occasionally. That was not one of them.
Oh, okay, sorry.
That was a dramatic pause.
Dramatic pause, you say?
You get to be my age, you'll drift off occasionally too.
Dramatic pause!
What happened then was very strange. My horse, instead of staying out in the dirt street there where a good, honest, self-respecting horse would be expected.
A God-fearing horse. An American horse.
USA!
Between the hitching rack. Am I keeping you up?
No, but your story has no direction and is very hard to follow.
The horse got between the hitching rack and the steps. And actually clambered up on the steps.
Ah, clamored, you say?
There it did what horses do. Would not be able. The horse proved it.
Ah.
I thought he meant the horse prevented kids from doing drugs.
And that would not have been a problem out in the pasture, but it made a considerable mess right there on the steps. And
Well, technically it's going to make a mess anywhere.
little bird would come along right at that very time, took a look at what had happened, didn't like it, made his way into the boarding house, his careful way, I presume, and he angrily demanded to know.
Careful way, I
"Whose
presume?"
horse is that outside? Well, I told him it was mine. He fined me $5. I paid him. Gave him a $5 gold.
Yes, that's how taxes and fines and tickets work.
You pay them.
The people in Guyana were very disappointed to learn that their little city wasn't going to be the western terminus of the CNO.
Hey, Tyler, you know what happened to Guy and Dot?
No.
Exactly.
Well, actually, there are those who say
Mr. Huntington, thank you for coming on this show. We really
Oh, thank God.
Yay.
Getting interrupted.
We'll be right back.
Wait, did he just tell him the future? No!